Last week, downtown Detroit residents were told they needed to boil their water before drinking it. It was a hassle. It was inconvenient, and it was quite a relief when the boil order was lifted after 3 days. 1 hour north in Flint, it has been a little longer than that since the water has been safe enough to drink. 1,047 days to be exact. Almost 3 years of bottles and filters. 34 months of worry and wondering at what the water may have done to the children. 1,047 days. And while the water tests are increasingly in the clear, Flint families are not.
And we're still fighting for things here in Flint.
Tonight, we'll follow the money. We'll measure the pace of progress. And we'll peer into the faces of Flint as we return to a city that fears its disaster has been forgotten. It's 1,047 days and counting. Failure in Flint. The crisis continues. Good evening. With Kimberly Gill, I'm Devin Skillian, coming to you tonight from the city of Flint at the well-known farmers market. And in fact, we are just blocks from the Flint River.
Very fitting that we are broadcasting live tonight from the farmers market, as this is a critical place for the people here, providing not just fresh produce, but regular cooking demonstrations, focusing on foods that can help them limit the effects of lead poisoning.
So important for the thousands of children in Flint, many of them dealing with the problems that are associated with drinking lead-tainted water.
Yeah, and next month, believe it or not, marks 3 years since Flint switched its water supply to the Flint River, which corroded the pipes, leaking lead into the water. Lead levels today have dropped, but families still have to use water filters.
So tonight we're looking at how life has changed for the people of Flint since we last visited. How are the children who have tested positive for lead exposure? What is being done to make sure that the water is safe and that people can actually trust what's coming out of their taps? And has anything actually changed for the better for the city of Flint?
Yeah, all good questions there. And we begin with consumer investigator Hank Winchester. He's been at the forefront of our coverage since the very beginning, and he joins us live from the banks of the Flint River tonight. Hank, good evening.
Devin, Kimberly, good evening to both of you. You can see the mighty Flint River here just over my shoulder. We're here in the heart of downtown Flint. As you both mentioned, things are trending in the right direction here in this city. But as you will see, there is still so much work to do. It's hard for many to believe. Almost 3 years after the switch, the problem has yet to be solved in Flint.
Fast how slow it comes out.
April 2014, the city, under control of a financial manager and in an effort to save money, switched from the clean water supply in Detroit to the Flint River. It was a move that proved to be disastrous.
Why pay the bill when the water can't kill?
Within weeks, people started complaining about the color and the smell of the water, but their concerns were ignored. Ignored for more than a year.
Our focus now is taking care of the citizens of Flint.
Finally, in the fall of 2015, the governor said he became aware of the problem and began laying out his plan to fix it. The early effort did very little to help bring calm or help the people who were struggling. There's no water right now at the fire station on Atherton Road. There's no filters, so whatever you've been doing is not working. In the following weeks and months, Flint gained national attention. The story making waves and headlines all around the world. But it was the children and the elderly who were most impacted by the crisis. We will never forget seeing people standing in long lines in the frigid cold just to get bottled water. The images of scared children getting their blood tested for lead and the look of concern on their parents' faces help tell the heartbreaking story.
Just having your child in danger over water, it's just sad.
During the heated race for the White House, Flint became a hot political talking point. Clinton, Sanders, Trump, all touching down in the vehicle city, all promising they could help solve the crisis. In May of 2016, President Barack Obama arrived in Flint. He drew big crowds, and those who were struggling hung on to every word, hoping a solution would be revealed. Michigan's Attorney General launched an investigation, and last year alone, several people were charged. More charges are coming, and we'll have more on that later in this show. 3 long years after the problem was first exposed, the reality here is many are still searching for answers, and everyone waiting for word on when or if it will ever be over. Recent water testing does show dramatic improvement, but today in Flint, you still need a filter, you still need bottled water, and you still need patience. Flint's mayor telling me this week to say that patience is wearing thin would be a big understatement.
We wish it hadn't happened. We wish it could have been solved sooner. But, you know, you can't go back and change what's happened. And so now it's just staying focused on what's the best way to fix this and to keep moving forward.
3 long years of uncertainty, of having to wake up every single day knowing the water coming out of the tap was poisonous, of having to drive up to the fire station to get bottled water. It's been unbelievable for the people in this city, but they are resilient. Coming up later in the show, much more of our conversation with Flint Mayor Karen Weaver. She's talking about her contentious relationship with the governor and also the A-list celebrity who has been involved in helping to bring Flint back. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
3 long years, as you said, Hank, and we know you'll have much more coming up, so we'll get back to you in just a few moments.
Now, what's happened here in Flint has produced a tidal wave of changes in the approach to dealing with lead exposure, not just in Flint, but all over the state of Michigan.
Yeah, we've got Dr. Frank McGeorge here right now with the important medical developments that are bringing improvements, not just here to Flint, but every community.
Right. Well, that's exactly it, Devin. And Kimberly, you know, anybody that was involved in the Flint water crisis acknowledges this was an avoidable tragedy of epic nature, but the ripples caused by the water in Flint, well, they haven't all been bad. We've learned important lessons that may help generations to come.
There's so many amazing things happening in Flint right now that weren't there a year ago or 2 years ago.
Dr. Monahana Atisha would know as the foremost medical advocate for solving the lead crisis.
We have investments in education. We have universal 4-year preschool in Flint. We have a new child care center that opened for 0 to 5. We have school health nurses. We have a mobile grocery store that is roaming the streets of Flint, delivering fresh fruits and vegetables to Flint residents.
These are some of the remarkable changes that have been made in a direct effort to limit any injury caused by lead exposure. But here's the bigger question, one that reaches into every part of the state.
What do our vulnerable children in Flint and our vulnerable children in Detroit and all these other communities where we have kids with disparities, what do they need?
To help answer that, a state lead commission headed by Lieutenant Governor Calley has been meeting regularly in Lansing. Dr. Eden Wells is the chief medical executive for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and sits on that commission.
But all of the same things we're doing for the children in Flint are great for any child in Michigan. There's been quite a few improvements, I think, in how public health is addressing lead, not just in Flint, but across the state.
One major change is a more proactive approach to the problem of lead. Instead of finding out that a child has been exposed by checking them after the fact,
we'd really rather look and eliminate lead from the environment.
That means looking for it.
As we go about this, I think we have to understand in our environments, lead paint remains probably the #1 source.
Lead paint is especially a problem in homes built before 1978, often found in cities like Detroit.
There is some great work coming out of Wayne State here in Detroit, and with the city health department here in Detroit have been great leaders.
Within the city, generations of children have turned up with high lead levels, generations of children who lived in the same home.
So how do we stop that? We say, well, that's not a problem of the family raising their child. That's a problem of that home from which all these different families lived in. If we can abate that property, and there's some beautiful homes here in Detroit, let's do it. But really what we're going to be asking for is there really should be an effort to actually eradicate or get rid of any of that old lead paint before there's a change in ownership of a home.
Beyond even the risk that lead paint poses, there's an increased awareness of every source of lead.
It's in paint, it's in soil, it's in dust, it's in imported toys, it's in some, different kinds of makeups and different things. So there's lead in many other sources.
And of course, there's the water.
Before the Flint water crisis, it was not well known the role that water could have in delivering contaminants to a person who uses municipal water, or any water for that matter. We understand now that lead can be actually mobilized even if you're having work done in your front yard and you're not living in Flint where there was corrosive water. So all of these things we're learning, we are going to be able to develop increased processes or enhanced processes to eliminate lead from the environment so the child's not exposed.
Sometimes you almost need a tragedy to bring people together, and there's people who are working together that never used to work together, but they see a future for Flint.
So I hope to see that Michigan remains in the forefront.
And so now, as they're made, the Lead Commission recommendations are being reviewed by local agencies and health departments, the governor, and the legislature to hopefully lead to meaningful change in the future.
Anybody that misses the broader lesson here, that we have aging infrastructure all over America.
Yeah.
This was the canary, so to speak, in the coal mine, but the lessons that are being learned here will hopefully mitigate these problems elsewhere.
That's exactly right. Tip of the iceberg. Lessons learned here can be applied across America. It's really a great opportunity, just unfortunate circumstances.
Okay, we'll check back in with you a little bit later in the broadcast, Doc. Thank you. Well, as many as 12,000 children in Flint were exposed to lead. Many could face health problems that will affect them for the rest of their lives.
We have had millions of dollars donated to help them. How's that money being spent? Our Karen Drew is looking into that part. Following the money, Karen?
Good evening there, Devin and Kimberly. Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha is the one who developed and founded the Flint Kids Fund. And that fund is so important because the money that is raised there is used to help offset the cost of lead exposure to these children as they age.
The fund is meant to last for 20 years to really be available to those children through the course of their whole childhood.
So far, nearly $18 million was raised from donations from around the world, including our statewide telethon. The Community Foundation of Greater Flint says $50 million is needed to provide these children with the services they need as they age. Grants are being awarded based on 4 priorities: high-quality childhood education, increasing access to healthy food, making sure every child has a professional health team tracking their development, and focusing on the needs of the entire family.
To provide resources so that families as a unit have resiliency skills, coping skills, the mental health supports that are necessary when you've had this kind of trauma so early in your child's life.
And the Flint Kids Fund has raised some $3 million just for this year to help these children. The goal, to raise $5 million each year to help the children as they age through the system. And as Dr. McGeorge has shown us, this is going to be a costly endeavor that isn't going to be solved in a short matter of time. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
Yep. Yep.
That is a tall order, but that's what they expect it's going to take.
So true. Okay, Karen, thank you. And over the next hour, we'll be taking you inside some of the programs to hear from people about how they're helping.
I was just a ticked off mom whose kids were being hurt. And I mean, that hasn't changed.
She helped expose the lead problem in Flint. What is this mom doing now? Plus, Defender Kevin Dietz on the criminal investigation. Are the most serious charges still to come?
And throughout our show tonight, you'll be hearing from the people of Flint in their own words what the past 3 years have felt like to the faces of Flint.
We have people in our area of all different ethnic groups and all different socioeconomic standards, and they can't afford to pay this water. The bills continue to go up, and the usage continues to go down. So it's kind of weird when you go home and you turn on your faucet and the water smells like gas or like sewage, and you're telling us that we can drink it, but then you're charging us $130 a month for it.
These days,
Welcome back to Failure in Flint, where sometimes it does seem that it's water everywhere, but not a drop to drink.
And as this crisis unfolded, many questioned, how did this happen and who would let something like this happen?
Well, of course, the Michigan Attorney General's office launched an investigation back in last January. State and local officials have been charged, but as Defender Kevin Dietz explains, more charges are imminent.
Investigators say it's the largest criminal investigation in the history of the state of Michigan. Now, over a year in, 13 people have been charged. In Flint, mistakes were made. The water supply was poisoned with lead, and families paid a huge price. Exactly how big may not be known for decades.
We will proceed to deliver justice and hold those accountable who broke the law.
To find out who should be held criminally accountable, an investigative dream team was formed in January 2016, headed by Attorney General Bill Schuette, Special Prosecutor Todd Flood, and Special Investigator Andy Arena.
We will turn over every stone. We'll go down every rabbit hole.
Millions of dollars have been spent. Thousands of documents have been scrutinized. Nearly 100 witnesses have been questioned. And 13 people have been charged. The first charges were filed in April against those on the front lines at the Flint water plant.
These charges are only the beginning. And there'll be more to come. That I can guarantee you.
Michael Glasgow, Stephen Bush, and Mike Prisby.
Mr. Prisby, do you have any comment? Did you tamper with evidence? Mr. Bush, do you have anything to say to the people of Flint? You must have something you want to say to the people of Flint. Did you tamper with evidence?
We pled not guilty to all of the counts.
Prisby and Bush pleaded not guilty and will fight it out at trial. Michael Glasgow did plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge in exchange for testifying against higher-ups. Investigators say they will climb the food chain as far as the evidence will take them. In July, 6 more workers are charged. The most notable, Lane Schechter Smith, who is the chief of the Michigan Office of Drinking Water and Municipal Assistance. Prosecutors accuse her of misconduct and neglect for allegedly misleading the public and concealing evidence that lead levels were rising in Flint's water supply.
We will protect the victims, the families and citizens of Flint, and we will hold each and every person who breaks the law will be held accountable.
Then in December, 4 bosses are hit with serious felonies. Former emergency managers Darnell Early and Gerald Ambrose, former Director of Public Works Howard Croft, and City Utilities Director Dorothy Johnson. Prosecutors alleging they conspired to push a contract through based on false pretenses.
Everybody knew, but nobody spoke up.
Tonight, the investigation continues, sources telling the defenders that more charges are coming, including what could be the most serious of all, involving the Legionella deaths of at least a dozen people. Of course, from the very beginning, all eyes have been on Governor Rick Snyder. Sources tell me that people in his office have been questioned and documents from his office have been subpoenaed. All the Attorney General will say is that they are following the evidence wherever it leads. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
All right, Kevin, and we should mention we did reach out to Governor Snyder's office and request an interview for this program, but he declined. All right, now to the Flint mom who really helped expose the water crisis here in Flint.
Yeah, we're talking about Leanne Walters. She is just a regular mom, she says, fighting for her family, but now she's unsure whether they'll ever trust the water that flows from the tap wherever they live.
Hug and a kiss.
A tender moment between mother and son, Leanne Walters wants to keep positive for her twin boys, Gavin and Garrett.
I don't want my kids to be victims in this. I want them to know they're survivors.
The 5-year-olds have suffered because of lead in the water. Gavin is 30 pounds lighter and 2 inches smaller than his twin brother.
Let go.
Leanne says the children don't speak as well as others their age. They struggle with hand-eye coordination and have a hard time writing their letters and numbers.
That's their most frustrating part for school for them, reteaching them things that they had already known, their ABCs, their colors, their numbers, that kind of thing. Where's your 3?
Right here.
Okay. Where's a 6?
She's homeschooling the twins and says they are improving, but
they have developed some of the behavioral issues when it comes to lead, with the lack of impulse control, the anger outbursts.
Then there is the psychological impact on these 2 little boys.
Gavin's having some self-esteem issues because of the height and weight difference. There's days where he really struggles with that, and I'm sorry, for a 5-year-old, that's not okay. Like, in their little heads, it's clicked. They understand that they were poisoned, and they understand that, we've had questions about, are we going to die? Can the doctors fix us? That kind of stuff. And we addressed it. We're honest with them on a 5-year-old level. So when we talked to them about it, it's, yes, this is what's happened, and these bad people made it happen. We've got all these good people who are trying to make it better, and you're not going to die.
Oh, smooch. Love you.
Bottled water is the only way of life for Leanne and her family. Baths, cooking, and for the daily drinks packed with nutrients they need to offset the effects of lead.
You, kitchen table. It's time for your superfood.
Leanne continues to fight for her family and other families in Flint. She works with Mark Edwards, the Virginia Tech engineer who helped expose the lead problem.
The research that they did and they just put out, my house is listed as ground zero, and I'm ground zero resident in it. So, I don't know. It's kind of surreal. So,
she played a pivotal role in the lead crisis, testified on Capitol Hill, working with investigators looking into the crisis and traveling the country speaking on panels, but feels she did what any parent would do for the love of their child.
I know people use words like hero, and I'm like, no, I was just a ticked off mom whose kids were being hurt. And I mean, that hasn't changed. That's not going to change. It's what we're supposed to do.
And she is a busy lady. She attends city council meetings and other community events when she is here in Flint. She wants to make sure the money that the city was given to fight the crisis is spent the right way. So she's also working with the EPA to get the lead copper rule changed because she worries what happened here in Flint can happen somewhere else.
She wants to brush that aside a little bit, but moms are heroes all the time.
Oh,
And she's been
you know
heroic
it.
about this, hasn't
Indeed,
she? Yeah.
indeed.
Coming up, we're going to talk with more of the parents who are dealing with this day in and day out. They're here to share with us what it's been like, what it's like today, and whether anything at all is improving in their lives. That's still ahead.
She was the very first celebrity to call.
Flint Mayor Karen Weaver on which celebrity is still pitching in to help, whether she's heard from President Trump, and what grade she would give Governor Snyder for the work he's done here in Flint.
You need to be here and you need to see what we are living with. Like, it's not fair. I don't think that he would want to live here. I don't think that anybody in that office space would want to live here. And so I would really want him to just live here and see that we are really struggling and it's hard and it's not getting any better.
Like people forgot about us because we were like all in the media. Celebrities were donating and stuff like that, and we're running low on water, and it just feel like people forgot about Flint when the water is still contaminated. Even if we did switch back to Detroit water, the pipes are still dirty. The water coming through is still dirty. We need to change the pipes.
We are back here, our Flint special continuing. I'm Hank Winchester, live along the banks of the Flint River. Now to my one-on-one interview with Flint's Mayor, Karen Weaver. She was open, she was honest, she was realistic about the future, and also about her sometimes contentious relationship with Michigan's top boss, the governor. Flint's mayor is on a mission to help save her city.
Sometimes I think people forget that I'm a resident and that I'm dealing with those same issues and using the bottled water and talking about the filters and making sure people understand. And then you go home and you're like, okay, well, let me put these bottles in this recycle bag.
It's got to make you mad.
It does. That part makes me very angry.
The water crisis made national headlines just months after she was sworn in. And immediately her battles with the governor also started making big news.
There are times where we've been able to work nicely together, and there are times where we disagree.
The latest battle over water credits, the governor ending those, saying that the deal was that they would end when the water quality significantly improved. The mayor saying it is too soon, because even though the water is better, people are still being told to rely on filters or bottled water.
I was disappointed.
Did you tell him that?
Oh, yeah. That's one thing.
It didn't work, though, did it?
It didn't work that time.
It has worked when more funding was needed for educational programs or infrastructure. But there's still much to do. and money is running out.
What grade would I give the governor? And I said an I. I said an I for incomplete because there's still time.
Are you expecting him to be charged? Would you be surprised if he was charged?
You know, one thing I've learned in this business is nothing surprises me.
What did surprise the mayor? The commitment from an A-list celebrity, Cher. She cold called the mayor's office last spring, asking what she could do. She donated money and thousands of bottles of water. And she's been in constant contact with Weaver ever since. In fact, the mayor calls the Oscar winner her close friend.
She always calls to check in and see what's going on in Flint.
Celebrities, elected leaders, and everyday people pitching in to help. But the reality is this problem is not over. And sadly, it won't be for several years.
Because this had not happened before, we had to just wait and see how long it was going to take. Nobody could really tell us. So what they thought would be a date for, oh, the pipes will be recoated, really didn't happen.
Mayor Weaver also talking about President Trump. You may remember when he was then candidate Trump made his way here to Flint and promised that if elected that he would work right away to solve the problem here in this city. She did tell us that just about a month ago, the White House reached out to the fire chief here and the police chief. They were planning a visit. Last minute, that trip was scrapped, but she is very hopeful and optimistic that she will get the help she needs from Washington. Devin, Kimberly?
Yeah. All right, Hank. And Hank mentioned educational programs. Nearly 200 Flint children are getting free early childhood education, and that too is part of this very broad program to combat the effects of lead.
Yeah, this program, I actually had a chance to spend some time there at the school talking with the kids. It's held at a once closed elementary school that's been repurposed to provide all sorts of services for children and their parents. Take a look here. Janitha Campbell is just one of several mothers in this classroom working toward a GED. Every day, the moms push their desks out of the way and take a break from their studies by spending an hour or so bonding with their children.
And your toes.
It's easy to do since their children have class in the same building here at Cummings Great Expectations.
I think that that's awesome because, you know, majority of the time you're running back and forth on trying to figure out how am I going to get my baby to school. I don't have to worry about none of that because I'm right in the same facility as him. And I think that that's a blessing, and it's awesome.
The moms in the program also get lessons in cooking and nutrition. It's an effort to lift these kids and their families out of poverty.
We want these parents to have a chance as well, and so getting their education and giving them the skills that they need to get a good job, to get good careers is really important to us.
The GED High School Completion Program is just one of the many things that makes the Cummings School unique. The school is open to Flint children ages 2 months to 5 years old. The special program allows kids to explore with creative play opportunities, which experts say can help mitigate the effects of lead exposure.
It's a way to let the child take control of the environment and create lots of options that are sort of natural and fit with the natural development of the child.
In this class of 3- and 4-year-olds, the kids are doing an activity that allows them to explore their senses by taking a trip to the beach.
Oh, he's dirty. You got to wash him off.
I'm a place for milk doctor to put.
Every day, the older children are allowed to make their own decisions about where they want to learn.
We ask them what center do you want to work in and what are you going to do there. So they have a plan, and then later in the day we'll come back and we'll talk about what they did.
You'll see in each of the rooms there's a dramatic play area, there's a building area. There are 4 major areas that the kids play in and that the teachers teach in.
Experts say this type of learning is critical for children exposed to trauma, or in this case, lead. And they say the first 5 years are the most important. The school also serves as a facility where U of M Flint researchers and students can observe what works best to help children combat the effects of lead exposure.
There are stages of development for kids in the way they behave, in the way they play, in the way they act, in the way they interact.
If we didn't have this in our community, I believe it would be more women wandering the streets during the days instead of actually trying to put themselves to use. I love bringing my baby in school. He loves it. So all the way around, we just have a very good, wonderful time.
This is a place of inspiration, and we really believe that we can make a positive difference.
And it really is just a phenomenal program, and the children there seem to just be thriving. This, though, is just one of the programs supported by the Flint Kids Fund we told you about earlier in the show. The goal is to help offset the effects of lead as the children grow up, preventing behavior problems, health issues, and developmental issues as well.
It's really creating this important set of metrics by which there's almost a kind of surveillance of watching these kids as they develop.
To see what works the best.
Yeah, terribly
that's great.
important. Well, coming up, we're going to dig into one of the more vexing mysteries of this entire odyssey, investigating the outbreak of Legionnaires disease that killed 12 people. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge will be back with us again, looking into the possible connection between the disease and the water.
It definitely affects me and my family every day.
And lives changed by this water crisis. Cooking and bathing using bottled water, paying high water bills for water they're scared to drink, and the psychological impact. Hear from parents on the front lines.
It's Welcome back to Failure in Flint as we continue our coverage a year after our most recent fully in-depth visit. How much has changed? Dealing with lead-tainted water, as you would imagine, would take its toll on any community. If you had told the folks in Flint when this started that 1,000 days later they would still be dealing with it, what would have been the reaction?
Nobody would believe it.
Yeah.
Nobody would believe it. Joining us right now are two of the parents helping their families and their community deal with this horrible crisis. And you guys joined us last year, and you're back again this year to kind of share your situation and how things have changed. We've got Chia Morgan and Laura McIntyre with us. Thank you for being here, ladies.
Chia, let's start with, if I had told you a year ago that this would be as far as we'd gotten a year from then, would that have been pretty depressing, or is that what you expected?
It would have been depressing. I didn't expect, everything to be completed, understanding all of the pipes that needed to be done. But as far as day-to-day operations, I would have expected us to be going further in the right direction instead of regressing, saying that things are getting better and that we don't need this. We're actually regressing instead of making progress. And I'm afraid that the regression is going to cause us not to actually get results in the long-term future.
Laura, does it feel that way to you too?
Yeah, I'm very disappointed. I'm glad I didn't know last year that it would still be happening this year. More people have died from Legionella, from Legionnaires. We now have to deal with dysentery and shigellosis. So it's not just the lead, it's the pipes are further deteriorating, and now we have bacteria and other chemicals to deal with. And it's like Chia said, it hasn't, not only has it not gotten fixed, it's gotten worse.
Yeah, Chia, just kind of take us through what your life is like on a daily basis. You're still using the bottled water and the filters.
Yes. Still using the bottled water and the filters, and I've traveled a couple times since the last time I saw you, and even going to the tap out of town, out in a completely different state. You're like, I want a good glass of water, and I have had it, but it's not an easy thing. It literally takes like some building myself up.
That's
to
something I had not thought about.
Yeah, even out of town, you can't trust it. You're like, oh my God, is this water, okay? And just even today, my daughter pulled her first tooth yesterday. She lost her first tooth. And so, you get the salt water and you rinse it. And I was just so excited in the moment that I didn't think, don't go to the tap. So I got the water, I put the salt in it, and then it hit me right before I handed her the cup. No, you have to go get some bottled water. You have to warm it up and put the salt. So even in a moment that should have been a joyous moment for Malia and I had to stop and do damage control so that I don't have to do damage control in 10 years. So, it's still affecting our lives, and, people want to point fingers at the mayor, the city council. The mayor and the city council do not work in Lansing. So ultimately, we need to hold our state government accountable.
In fact, Laura, so we saw that some of the levels were clearing up, but then they tell you that the water bills are going to return, even though you can't drink it yet. Your reaction to that, and the reaction of your neighbors and friends?
Well, the water testing, for one thing, not all homes have yet to be tested. So how can they say that the water is fine when all of the homes haven't been tested? And testing is actually a snapshot in time. It tells you what your water is like at that moment. And one of the problems is that with the deterioration of the pipes, We have buildup of lead and other sediment and things like that that could be dislodged at any moment. So
you feel like it's minute by minute.
It is minute by minute. It's like playing Russian roulette with your tap. You could get some lead at any moment through your pipes, as well as the bacteria and other chloramines, TTHMs, things like that.
Which I guess means you're not tickled with the bills returning.
We have one of the highest water bills in the country, and we're paying for poisoned water, and we've been lied to about that. We actually, the water bills are very confusing. They're bundled with sewer charges as well as water charges, and some other things as well. And there's a lack of transparency in terms of what actually we're paying for, because people who have abandoned their homes are still getting the same water bills from when they lived there. So there's some real distrust in terms of what we're actually getting billed for and the
You two have
amounts.
been so important to putting a face and real lives to this for us. I'm so glad you were here. I'm still frustrated for you for your struggles, but we really appreciate it.
Thank you for keeping up the fight and keeping it
Absolutely.
alive.
We're going to keep it up too. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, there are efforts in Flint to help people thrive despite the water crisis, including one right here at the farmers market.
I moved about 3 months ago. I went to the doctor, and my daughter has high levels of lead in her system because of drinking, bathing, cooking in the water. She's a healthy girl, but she just doesn't feel good. She's got a lot of lead in her system.
Well, it remains a question tonight whether the water in Flint could be responsible for an outbreak of Legionnaires' disease in Genesee County, specifically outbreaks that killed 12 people in 2014 and 2015.
There are multiple investigations going on at the state level and through other agencies in the country, and there's also litigation over the Legionella cases as well.
Yeah. So let's bring Dr. Frank McGeorge back in with the questions here about what we know and what we don't know about this very troubling possible link.
Well, that's it exactly, Devin and Kimberly. I think the key word is no, because different parties are giving different answers. And I'm not sure we're ever going to know with 100% certainty. But I think we have really, really compelling evidence that the Flint water crisis and the Legionnaires outbreak are linked. And here's what I'd point out to support that. First, there's the timing of the water switch and then the spike in Legionnaires cases. There's chemical and temperature changes in the water that would support the bacteria's growth. And then there was the significant decrease in cases after the return to Detroit water. And if you take all those things together, it's really an impossible pattern to ignore.
Yeah. And Flint, they really don't want to hear this, but because it's almost like they're the guinea pigs, but this will help the rest of the country.
Absolutely. You know, while many of the past issues can't be undone, we can learn so much from what happened, and that's really going to help countless others, whether it's cities or patients. The key is we need to learn from the past mistakes.
Especially with Legionnaires, which is something we still really don't fully understand, right?
Well, it's a very serious disease, and it's spread by water. We know that. It can be aerosolized in water, and the circumstances were right. But right now, there's a lot of investigation going on, basically, in some ways, trying to figure out who's at fault. So whether it's the state, whether it's the McLaren Hospital, perhaps, there's a lot of other investigation behind this.
Sure is, as with so many other things here in this odyssey.
Thank you, Doc. We appreciate it. All right, there's a big push in Flint to change the story from failure in Flint to success in Flint.
Giving families the support that they need to thrive despite this lead crisis. Karen Drew been following that with some of the different ways that that's happening. Karen?
They sure are creative and looking for solutions. You know that, Devin and Kimberly. We're talking about mobile food markets, cooking lessons, education, all of that coming from the Flint Kids Fund. And it's not only just for the kids, it's for the adults. So they are willing and hopeful to succeed during this Flint water crisis.
I'm just going to add a little bit of oil to the pan.
A free cooking lesson at the Flint Farmers Market.
We're doing the taco skillet today. We're really looking at recipes that help mitigate the effects of lead. So things that are high in vitamin C, high calcium, high iron.
We try to make it so it's easier to do, right? So you're just maybe adding in a little bit more vegetables, having fruit as a snack to get that vitamin C.
It helps me to prepare a simpler meal because with the water situation, you have to use bottled water to wash your vegetables and everything. And I find myself cooking with more simple meals.
The cooking demos are put on by the Hurley Foundation with grant money given through the Flint Child Health and Development Fund.
So every week, either Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, you'll have one of the staff here doing a demo and giving lots of good information, nutrition education, and with the grant, the families get to walk away with a bag of food.
It's helped me with my health. I've learned better eating habits.
Puff, puff, puff.
The Flint Kids Fund also raises grants for programs promoting education, like the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
It will provide a free book from birth to age 5, delivered to them monthly.
Zachary will be 2 this month. His first book, The Little Engine That Could. His parents, Brian and Cynthia, worry about how the water crisis could affect their son.
It's forced us to be that much more mindful about the foods that we feed him, mindful about the engagement that we do to him, and mindful about his cognitive development.
We know that lead affects mental capacity, and so one of the ways that we can combat that is exposing children to literature and to reading, and also to encourage reading in the home.
This makes sure that we're going to be consistent throughout the next 3 years of his life. He's consistently going to be introduced to new words, new stories, new ideas, new pictures, and have those bonding moments with his parents.
And so many different programs also included. They've got gardening classes. They also are trying to teach people to have better access to healthy food. They're also offering psychological programs to help these families deal with this, because we use this word crisis, Devin and Kimberly, frequently, but it is a crisis, and they do have a lot to deal with, obviously physically and emotionally as well.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, stand by. We'll be right back to you here in just a minute.
And there are so many stories from this crisis, from people motivated to action to others who are struggling with health problems.
I knew it would be hard, but I didn't know how hard.
Seeing his community face this crisis day in and day out, you'll hear how his role is helping his family when we return.
Water is an asset that every house needs. So I think we need to get up off this pretty talk that we're doing, and our man down in Lansing, he needs to either step on it or step out, and let's get busy down here in Flint. That's what I want to do. Let's get busy about what's happening here.
Just some of the faces of Flint. Everybody here could be one of them, because everyone you talk to here has a story about how this water crisis has impacted their life.
Yeah, and it really is shaping the decisions they make as they move forward. Our Karen Drew shows us some of the setbacks and the triumphs.
Devin and Kimberly, as we take a look at this tragedy, it really is taking a look at how different lives are shaped and affected. So tonight we're going to show you different lives and how people are reacting to this, from politics to employment to health scares.
I really didn't know anything about the water issues until I had surgery.
Ellen Eberhard says she had a severe physical reaction because of Flint's contaminated water.
I came home from the hospital, had my surgeon check it on January 12th, and he said, everything looks great and you should be able to shower.
Ellen says she had no idea the water she was showering in was contaminated. The result?
I ended up back in the hospital for 5 days with a major infection of E. coli from the water. I had no idea what had happened, because I said the only thing that happened was I took a shower and I went to bed.
Ellen said she had lesions all over her body. She has photos, some so disturbing we can't show.
And now it's totally disfigured. I have huge dips and it'll have to be redone. I have huge holes in my legs.
So now Ellen spends much of her time here at her parents' home.
So I'd come here to my parents' house and shower.
Meantime, her sores have healed, but not her spirit.
I always said that the crime wasn't going to drive me out in Flint. I wasn't going to do it. I fought against crime for the longest time. And now it's the water.
Chia Morgan isn't running from Flint because of the water crisis. Instead, this local mother says she will be running for city council.
Well, I've always wanted to be in city politics.
She says the water issue is what pushed her to take action.
Yeah, we both had the skin rashes. We both have eczema. It definitely affects me and my family every day.
Her 4-year-old knows the reality all too well. Why don't you use the water from over there?
Because it's sick water.
It's sick water? You can't use that water? Morgan says the mom perspective, the resident perspective, the lifetime Flint perspective needs to be shown more on council to help solve the water crisis.
I know going into this race that is a big issue that I will have to address.
One positive thing that's occurred because of the Flint water crisis, for some it's meant employment. Robert Green is a father of 7.
When the water stuff started, I started working back in March.
He is a supervisor now at one of the water distribution sites.
I was in between jobs, so the opportunity presented itself and I hopped on it.
This new job comes with countless hours in the rain, snow, and cold.
And I knew it would be hard, but I didn't know how hard.
Stacking and distributing the water.
Cases, we go through anywhere from 20 to 40 pallets.
Deontay Cleveland also found work at a water distribution site.
It's a good thing as far as bringing jobs to Flint, but at the same time, it's like, why did it have to be because of the crisis?
Cleveland says it is a lot of work. They're open 6 days a week, but feel that's important. They need to be there for their neighbors.
Then I see a lot of older people who come through here trying to get water, and they ask us, do y'all have anybody that'll help us carry it?
The young mother and the babies really tear at his heart as well. With this job, he feels he is helping.
Just feel good for, I love this job for real. If I had a ring, I'd give it to the job, you know? I love this job.
All set. Have a good day.
And you know who really touched me? Chia's daughter, that 4-year-old. Basically, her whole life, all she has known is what she calls is sick water from the faucet. And obviously, hopefully, we all are hoping that that is going to change very, very soon. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
Yeah. All right, Karen, we know the story doesn't end here. Our storytelling doesn't end here either. Head to clickondetroit.com for our special section on the Flint water crisis, including all of our stories and a timeline of the events that have brought us here.
But before we go, we want to bring in Hank Winchester, who you have been on top of this from the very beginning, asking the tough questions, that sort of thing. And kudos to you for doing that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I think the phrase that is still haunting me in this last hour was Laura McIntyre sitting here saying that after all of this, 1,047 days without safe water, she's now being asked to pay for poison water she can't drink.
Right, and that goes to the PR image of this too. With Lansing, there seems like a disconnect. You've got people who now have to pay their full water bill, yet they still have to rely on the filters and the bottled water. And we had that one day in Detroit, you mentioned at the top of the show, that boil water advisory. Chaos for us, and these people have been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, Hank.
Okay, we're out of time, folks. Thank you for watching.
We remain committed, of course, to this story. Much more to come, and we'll see you tonight for Local 4 News at 11.